A brand you've probably never heard of, yet a drone that suspiciously feels like it hides some very familiar tech under the hood. 4K video, surprisingly long flight times, a stable 3-axis gimbal and software experience that, well, might give you a déjà vu. So let's inspect. Hey fellow, great to see you here again. I'm Michael, and full disclosure before we start, Skyrover sent this unit for a review. It's the first more budget-friendly drone at the moment. It's called the S1, but don't let the price fool you, because this thing has a lot more going on than what you'd expect. So here's everything I discovered during the past few days of flying, filming, and trying to push it to its limits. Let's begin with the part that you care about most, image quality. For this price, the results are honestly impressive. The main camera can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, giving you room for smooth motion and even real 4K slowdowns. If you want proper slow motion, 1080p at 120 frames per second gives you clean 4x speed reduction. You get full manual control over ISO and shutter speed. The aperture is fixed at f/2.8, so any photos would be extremely useful. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a set while testing. However, Skyrover promised that they should be available really soon. Photography is here too, and yes, RAW photos are supported, and so are 48 megapixel high-resolution photos. With a bit of patience, in Lightroom or your preferred editor, you can squeeze out some decent results. The 3-axis mechanical gimbal does an excellent job about stabilizing the camera and compensating any vibrations. Angle control from the remote is smooth and responsive, but throughout my testing I did notice some jello, which I've noticed after reviewing the footage from my maiden flight, and it all got fixed with freeing up the gimbal and simple recalibration after that from within the app. Overall, the Skyrover S1 shapes up a very capable, lightweight flying camera with image quality that challenges a lot more expensive devices. When it gets dark though, the limits show up, which isn't surprising. Think of an action camera from 2, maybe 3 years ago, before the AI-powered low-light magic we see now. It's a half-inch image sensor, decent, usable, but not night video friendly. Or at least not on the level of something like the Osmo Action 5 or 6. Still, for recreational flying and most hobby-level content, it is absolutely fine. If you want the best possible low-light results, you can try switching to manual, where you can slow down the shutter speed, raise the ISO gradually up until a point is still tolerable, and keep movements smooth in order to avoid too much blur. This won't perform miracles, but helps in some cases. Now, let's go further and talk about design, materials, and the unboxing experience. Here's the combo retail pack. Honestly, the case could be more compact, but you do get plenty of space inside. Maybe too much space, but hey, at least everything fits comfortably and you can put on some more accessories. The drone itself is very lightweight and yes, under 250 grams. To achieve this, Skyrover clearly used basic plastics. They don't feel fragile, but this is definitely not a drone you want to crash. The props are easy to replace, the gimbal assembly isn't. Damage there could cost you close to the price of the drone itself. If I would improve one thing, visibility, due to the color. In cloudy weather, the white blends with the sky. Some colored stickers or reflective tape would help a lot. The remote controller looks almost identical to DJI RC-N2, just with a different color palette and slightly different button placement. Honestly, I like the placement of the Skyrover buttons more, closer to the center, easier to reach while flying, and they kinda make better sense. Yes, you have to rely on your smartphone, and yes, it supports both Android and iPhone, gives you direct access to almost everything while filming. Now, about the specs. Well, Skyrover advertises up to 40 minutes of flight time. In real life, I never got too close to that, and to be fair, if you want to preserve battery health long-term, and with these drones you do, you shouldn't drain LiPo batteries below 15% anyway. Combine that with winter temperatures and occasional sports mode, because I wanted things to be more fun, and I consistently was getting around 25 to 30 minutes, which is still very respectable. The batteries are intelligent, they self-discharge to about 50% after a couple of weeks of inactivity, perfect for long-term storage. And they also have firmware on board, which again feels suspiciously familiar. And yes, the overall experience strongly resembles the DJI Mini something. It's not a one-to-one equivalent to any of the specific DJI models at the moment, but I would say feels more like a blend between the DJI Mini 3 and the Mini 4K, and perhaps the Mini 3 Pro, especially because of some rather advanced smart features. So let me show you how to activate and use most of these. Time to talk apps and software, and this is where the déjà vu intensifies. If you've ever flown a DJI Mini or Air, the Skyrover interface will almost immediately feel familiar. You don't install the app through Google Play or App Store, you download it from Skyrover's official website. Setup is simple, but activation is mandatory, and right after the activation, expect a firmware update. I would strongly suggest doing the activation and the first installations at home, not outdoors on a cold day with a single battery. Trust me, this tip saves time, hassle, and precious few % of battery capacity. Once you're airborne, all these familiar tools are available. Altitude and distance to home, the signal strength indicators. Here's the manual and the auto camera mode controls. There also are some different flight modes and of course the battery status indicator. And yeah, vertical shooting mode is supported. It is a crop, not a mechanical rotation, but still useful for quick social content. As for smart flight presets, you can find Circle, Drone, Arc, Rocket, and Helix. Recognize the names? Because I certainly do. But the biggest surprise here, the ActiveTrack in the follow function. DJI Mini 4K doesn't have it, Skyrover S1 does. And it works much better than you would expect at this price. It's great for solo filming, riding, hiking, or recording reviews where you need a drone to follow you reliably. Sounds like a big portion of my life as a YouTube creator. Inside the settings menu, you're gonna find adjustments for obstacle avoidance, basic but useful, and flight behavior. Again, very similar to DJI's Mini experience. I didn't push it too far because of the season, but at around 1.5 kilometers, which is roughly a mile, the signal remained perfectly solid. This suggests Skyrover is using a transmission tech very similar to DJI's OcuSync style protocols, because it appears to display 1080p without hiccups at very long distances. Let's wrap up with the downsides, because there certainly are some. Limited accessories, at least at the moment when I'm working on the review, but Skyrover promised that some are on their way. For example, the lack of anti-filters while filming was the biggest drawback, at least to me, because anti-filters are the only thing standing between this drone and, I would say, rather cinematic feeling. Probably also DC-like and log would have been nice, but this is a budget drone after all. Unlike DJI, I didn't get a notification about premium service like Care Refresh for peace of mind in case of crashes or accidents, at least not now, but I've seen some notes that such things are coming really soon. Other than that, I think this drone is a no-brainer. Aggressive pricing, excellent features, super stable performance, and flight experience that feels far more premium than its budget positioning. As for whether DJI is secretly staying behind Skyrover, nobody can confirm it officially at the moment, but similarities are, let's say, noticeable, which certainly explains why the S1 flies so well. If you have questions or you want me to test something specific, just let me know down in the comments. The Skyrover S1 is going to stay with me for a little while, so yeah, feel free to request any sort of tests. And thanks for watching this video. Fly safely, fly responsibly. Remember, this is just a review, and while getting new tech always feels super exciting, take a moment before buying anything to consider whether it's something you truly need and genuinely want. And take good care. See you soon. Bye.